All right. Hello. Good morning, everyone, and good morning to Mr. Harry. In this given opportunity, I would like to tell more about the SAM model as a part of EIDT context. So let's start now. All right. Me as the presenter, my name is Yesaya Klose with the name 2212021139. I'm from class 5th IKI in English Language Education. So here's the table of contents. So we're going to talk about the concept of SAM model. Basically, it's about the main concept of the SAM model. And then we're going to talk about the advantages of implementing the SAM model for students. And the next one, we're going to talk about the disadvantages of implementing the SAM model for students, and also the use of SAM model in the real world situation, especially for students during the class. Now let's talk about the definition of the SAM model. So what is the main concept of the SAM model? So basically the SAM model, or we can call it as the successive approximation model, is an agile instructional design model, which is developed by Michael Allen as an alternative to the traditional AD model. So the main concept of SAM in iterative development focusing on collaboration, efficiency, and flexibility in the design process. As the Allen and Sykes said in 2012. And you can see here, there are three phases of SAM model. The first one is about the preparation phase. So it more focused on the gathering information and brainstorming ideas. And the second one, it's about the iterative design phase. So it's focused on the prototyping and reviewing in rapid cycles. And the third one phase is iterative development phase. So in this phase, we can develop, implementing, and evaluating in continuous cycles. So let's talk about what are the advantages of implementing the SAM model for students. The first one, based on Parson et al. In 2018, it talks about the flexibility, which SAM allows for quick adaptations to change needs or feedback. And the second one, as said by the Trust and Pectas 2018, so he focuses on the engagement which students can be involved in the design process. So the good way of teacher can do is increasing their motivation and also the sense of ownership. The third one, which said by the Allen and Sykes in 2012, so it talks about the rapid development. In this case, the teacher can make a faster creation and implementation of learning materials to students. And the fourth one by Parson et al. In 2018, it's about the continuous improvement. So the teachers should do regular feedback loops to assure that ongoing refinement of the learning experience for students. So now let's talk about what are the disadvantages of implementing this model for students. The first one, I took note, it's time intensive. So the teacher can make a iterative process that can be time consuming, especially for complex projects to the students. And the second one is the potential for confusion. According to the Parson et al. In 2018, frequent changes might confuse some students who prefer a more structured approach. And the third one, it's resource demands. So the teacher should do continuous iteration that might require more resources and coordinations. And the fourth one, the advantages of implementing the SAM model for students, it can make a risk of scoop creep. What does it mean? It means that when the teachers are not having without careful management, the project scope can expand uncontrollably. So the students can be overwhelmed as well. Right? Sorry. So how can the SAM model be used in a real world situation, especially in the classroom involving students? So I have two examples. The first example is in the case developing an interactive English grammar app. So in this scenario, an English teacher decided to create an interactive grammar app for their students using the SAM model. So there are three phases that we can use. As I said before, there are three phases, namely preparation phase. So in this phase, we can gather information about students' grammar needs and also technological preference. And second one, we as a teacher can do a brainstorm ideas for app features with a small group of students. The second phase that we can do as a teacher, we need to hold an iterative design phase. In this phase, we can create a simple prototype of the app with basic grammar exercise. The second one, we can do some tasks, the prototype with a small group of students and collect feedback after they finish their projects. And the third one, we as a teacher can refine the design based on student input, like adding features like progress tracking and also personalized lessons. And the third phase that we can do as a teacher is iterative development. So we can develop the app incrementally by releasing new grammar topics and also features regularly. The second one, we can collect ongoing feedback from students using the app. And the third one, we can continuously refine and improve the app based on usage data and student suggestions. So I believe that this approach can allow and enable for rapid development and implementation of the app, especially with the students actively involved in shaping its features and content. And it's also aligned with the Trust and PACTAS in 2018. Right. So we're going to move into the second example. So teacher can also create a blended learning English courses. For example, like now, we are in a university English department decides to design their intermediate English course using the same model. So the first phase, we're still the same, the preparation phase. We as a teacher can analyze current course strengths and weaknesses. The second one, we can gather input from students, teachers, and so forth. And the next phase, it's iterative design. So we can design a prototype blended learning structure by combining online and in-person elements. So it's integrated. And the second one, we can do a test, the prototype with a small cohort of students for a short period. And the third one, we can also refine the design based on feedback by adjusting the balance of online and in-person activities. And the third phase, we can do iterative development, which can be implementing the blended learning model for a full semester. We can do regularly collect feedback from students and instructor, and also we can make ongoing adjustment to course materials, activities, and also technologies based on performance data and participant input during the learning process. Right, so basically, the main focus of example 2, which is creating a blended learning English course, this approach enabled for a flexible and responsive course design that can be quickly adapted to meet students' needs and learning objectives. In both examples I mentioned before, the same model facilitates a collaborative, iterative approach to instructional design that involves students in the process and allow for rapid improvements based on a real-world feedback and data. Right, here is the references that I made, that I used during the presentation in each slide. And thank you for your time. If I had a mistake or short edge, please kindly to give any advice or evaluation on the comment section in learning. Thank you so much, guys, and Mr. Harry for the time, and see you next time.